Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh again. Welcome to a new episode of Deprogramming. So, today I'm going to talk to you about how to deprogram meditation. Now, this is going to be extremely controversial because I know that a lot of people are not Muslims and don't understand a lot of my perspective. So, I'm going to try to thoroughly explain exactly what I'm saying. So, let's start by what is meditation? It's when you meditate, okay? It's when you go in a serene environment that you're able to, it's so serene that you're able to go into your deep subconscious self and read yourself. You know how they have this whole like identity crisis where like everyone's like, I don't even know what I want. So this is where you literally just spend time thinking, okay, what's going on in my life? Do I need to change anything? How can I change whatever I need to change? You basically think. It's thinking time. Deep contemplation about yourself or whatever you're meditating about. Okay? I have done meditation in the past, like twice, where I go in this the quiet laundry room where no one else is. I have a pencil and a paper, and so whenever you go for meditating, you have a goal. The reason I was meditating at that point was I wanted to fix my relationship, so I came in with the goal of, okay, what's wrong in my relationships? And I walked out with a paper filled with all of the problems in my relationships. Now I just had to think of how to fix them. Anyways, that is a very good tool. Now, the problem is when you make this tool your goal. Okay? So, there's this one really aggravating thing, like when people are talking about Islam when they're not like Muslims, and they go like, yeah, and Muslims they have this like concept of prayer, and somebody's like, oh yeah, like meditating, yeah, okay. Prayer is not meditating. Okay? We have a whole separate dimension called tadabbur, which means contemplation, but that is a side dish. Okay? That's not the main entree at all. Okay? You can have prayer with meditation, but you cannot have meditation without prayer. You get it? And I'll tell you why. So, the way meditation works is you have to force yourself to submit to yourself. You have to be able to overpower yourself and think of whatever the goal of your meditating was. Okay? So, essentially, meditation is submitting to yourself. It helps you to become an authority. It helps you to imagine yourself and say, I will follow my commands. If right now I'm sorry, there are these cars making a lot of noises on the road. I'm sorry if it comes. Anyways, so it makes you an authority and it tells you that, okay, I'm going to listen to myself. I'm going to read my feelings. I'm going to read my thoughts. I'm going to see myself. Okay? And what's the problem in this? Like, people are probably thinking, why is this girl going crazy over meditating? Let the meditators meditate. The reason I'm going so crazy is because people think that it's some, I don't know, alternative to prayer. The thing about meditating is that you're submitting to yourself, not to God. Okay? It does not help in submission. Okay? Submitting to yourself is actually fairly easy. Meditating is fairly easy, but prayer is a whole different thing, which in my next episode of reprogramming, am going to bring. Okay? Meditating is when you make yourself an authority. Prayer is when you make God an authority. It's when you realize how weak you are as a human and why there is wisdom in submitting to another entity. Okay? So, when you meditate, you might be able to change yourself, but you might not. And it's really funny. There are three people that I've heard a lot of meditating. Number one, monks. You know, those guys who are doing in like the mountains. Businessmen, weird, and villains. Okay. And the reason why you won't find monks, I'll leave them alone, but the reason why you won't find businessmen and villains turning good and starting to do ihsan, basically try to achieve perfection with their actions, is because meditating is submitting to yourself. It's reflecting. So this completely relies on your idea of what a good person is. It's not even touching on what God thinks. Okay? If God says, I think that um, a, a good person, a good doer, is somebody who pays charity and respects their parents, then a person in prayer will realize when they say astaghfirullah, when they say, God, can you please forgive me? They will realize it's because I disrespected my parents and did not give charity. I'm basically pledging for forgiveness. Why? So that I can fix myself and it gets accepted. If you meditate on this and you think that power is the best, and you say, I didn't disrespect my parents, I just overpowered their primitive ideas. You see what I did there? That's meditation. That's what meditation's going to do for you. So, unless you're a very pure person, then meditation is not going to help you grow. And prayer will, because you need another entity to keep you in place. And I'll give you an example. So, I'm I have an extremely healthy BMI. I'm not a fat person, alhamdulillah. Okay, but there was a stage where we just came back from vacationing in Miami, and I really wanted to lose weight because I had gained like 2 pounds or 3 pounds or something like that. Okay, and so I said, all right, you know what I'm gonna do? My mom does all the meal planning, so okay, I will just eat what she gives me, and I'm not gonna touch junk. Like, I'm not gonna touch it. And I was so confident because I did it for one day. Next day, the craving happened. It's like, what do you do? Okay, let me do exercise instead. That didn't work. I did it for 2 minutes and I was like, I will have the Lindor. And so I took the Lindor. What happened? Did anything happen? No, nothing happened. Am I going to punish myself? No. But in Ramadan, when it's not just eat whatever you're given and no junk, when it's no water, no food until Maghrib time, I'm able to fast. I fast on Mondays and Thursdays. I'm fine. Why? Because I know that I'm submitting to another entity. Okay? People don't have a natural ability to keep themselves in check. You need God to keep you in check. And that's why meditation will not suffice. And that's why prayer is the only way to go and grow. Okay. Let me see if I have anything else. Yeah, another thing, the last point is that it gives you a false feeling that you're spiritual. Okay, spirituality is nothing if it doesn't have a God factor in it. Okay, so